So Google is preparing to launch a brand new way for you to move from Apple iPhone to an Android device. So with that in mind, we've managed to find the Google Switch to Android app running on an iPhone, and this is just how it will work. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe, and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. When you're moving from one Android device to a new one, the process is fairly simple, and you just connect two phones together either wirelessly or with a USB cable to seamlessly copy over all of your apps, your contacts, messages, photos, and then more on top. By contrast, copying your data from an iPhone to Android has not been nearly as simple of a process, and it involves you backing up your data to Google Drive and restoring it all manually. That said, Android helps to make things a little bit easier, allowing you to do things like copy over your contacts, apps, and media, but you could only do so via a lightning cable connection, albeit a fairly seamless one once it's in place. In the opposite direction though, over 5 years, Apple has offered a dedicated Move to iOS app for Android that attempts to make it even easier for people to join Apple's ecosystem. Late last year, we reported though that Google was working on its own app to help new customers make their next phone an Android phone. Switch to Android has now then been soft launched into the App Store as an unlisted application, so that means it's not quite publicly available just yet, a feature that Apple has actually only recently launched, and that means you'll need a direct link which our APK Insight team was able to uncover. With that link, we were able to successfully install Switch to Android on an iPhone 10 and get it running, albeit not quite 100%, as some prerequisite changes do need to be made on the Android side of things before it's properly ready for prime time and helping people switch across the divide. So when this app is launched for the first time, it's typically googly, and you can kind of tell that this is predominantly a Google made application, with the first screen including an app explainer telling you all the kind of things that you can copy over from your iPhone to your new Android device. This includes things such as photos, videos, contacts, and more, but we'll go in a little bit more detail in a second. The next step though, and this is going to be one of the most prominent steps of the entire process, you will be able to scan a QR code which will be shown on your Android phone during the setup and restore process. At this point in time, this process is not yet working correctly, which means that we're actually unable to access this setup flow. Effectively, the basic gist is that when you get your new Android phone, this would generate a hotspot during the initial setup process that your iPhone is able to connect to just by scanning this QR code. Once your phone is connected, the majority of your important data would just be transferred wirelessly without you needing to plug in a cable. We can actually see a preview of how this step will work thanks to the screenshots including the original App Store listing for Switch to Android. In them we can see toggles for things such as contacts, calendar events, photos and videos. Below these toggles there's also a disclaimer that only the photos and videos saved locally to your iPhone will be copied over to your new Android, and that the media in your iCloud or your iCloud account will be handled later on in the process. At the moment, you can see something similar as well when connecting your iPhone and Android phone during that initial setup process using a Lightning to USB-C cable. We'd wager that this process is going to be fairly similar, all things considered, but Switch to Android would handle everything over on the iOS side of things. Sadly though, to copy apps or apps over that are available on both the App Store and the Play Store simultaneously, and your SMS messages, to do that you're going to have to use a Lightning to USB-C cable, otherwise you're just limited to those contacts, calendar events, photos and videos, but it's still better than not being able to transfer anything entirely. So once that copying process is complete, the Switch to Android app will just remind you to disable iMessage, just to ensure that your messages from your friends who still use iPhones are actually able to be delivered, rather than just disappearing into an iMessage void. The final step of the Switch to Android process, this is just a quick request to transfer all of your iCloud data into Google Drive or Google Photos. The Start Request button will just simply launch Safari or your default web browser into an iCloud support page where you can request to transfer a copy of your data to your actual Google accounts. All in all though, Switch to Android, it is delightfully straightforward as an experience, making it kind of as easy as possible to climb out of that infamous walled garden of the iPhone or the Apple ecosystem into Android. And it's not clear at this time when Google actually intends for Switch to Android to launch widely or launch fully, but considering how long Apple's own Move to iOS app has been available on the Play Store, Google's alternative is already arriving a lot later than it probably should have been. We'll have a proper, full, in-depth hands-on when Google fully launches the Switch to Android app and a guide on how to use this feature, but it certainly might help simplify or ease the process of switching from Android to iOS. Granted, it hasn't always been that great over the past few years, and we're not quite sure if it will make a massive dent in the market share figures of iOS and Android in specific regions anyway. But that said, it is a nice little tool and we're really pleased to see Google addressing this particular transfer process. Let us know what you think of this application or what it might do, if it's going to be a good thing to you or to Android, or maybe even it might make a little dent in iOS. Let us know what you think down in the comment sections below. Do you think it's a good way of making people switch or helping people switch? That said, until next time though, this is Damien with 9to5Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.